Hey friends, I'm back with another project this week and I'm focusing on replacing my laundry room door with a barn door. So this is the space right here. If you remember, I built that round table and the bench and the sign, and this right here is my laundry room door. I've wanted to take it out and replace it with a barn door just for looks completely, but I also have a very functional reason that I need it. Now let me show you. So this right here is a shelf. Excuse everything that's been falling and tearing up the wall, but this is my problem right here. I need a bigger shelf for our modem and all of the things that go up there, and I can't do that with this door because it will hit stuff. And it already does, and it knocks it down and it tears the wall up. So I'm gonna have a really beautiful barn door and be able to build a wider shelf that will accommodate all of the things that we need for Wi-Fi. So with that being said, I'm gonna head to my shop and get busy building. Okay, here is my barn door that I'm building today, and this will be what you see from the kitchen side of the door. The back side I'm gonna leave blank because I'll never have the laundry room door shut with anybody inside of it, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like, and that will save me on lumber cost. But here it is. It's a 1x frame with some plywood, and the plywood I am using 2 sheets and covering the seam with the design. So it should be a pretty easy build, and it's a very easy modification to get any size that you need. So this should be a really easy, straightforward build. Like I said, it's an easy modification. If you need a different size on a door, you just make the frame wider and make the plywood wider. But to start, I'm gonna build the frame that's gonna go behind the plywood. And I have already cut my 1x boards to size for that. It's 3 1x boards that will run the length of the door, and then I've got a 1x6 header for the top and a 1x6 header for the bottom. Like I said, I've made the cuts for these. I need to go and add the pocket holes in the long boards, so I'm going to do that next. So I'm using the Kreg Jig 720 Pro. This is one of my favorite Kreg Jigs, and it makes drilling pocket holes so much easier. It's their newest model, and it's so easy. I'm using 1-inch stock, so I'm going to slide the finder window up to 3/4 of an inch. Lock it in place, and that's it. You don't need to make any adjustments on your Kreg Jig because it's self-adjusting with an auto clamp. So just slide the board in and it locks in place. If I was using 2-inch stock, it would adjust to that. So you don't need to make any other adjustments, just on the window. Easy enough. Now I'm going to do the same thing on all of the boards on both ends. So I have to show y'all a little behind the scenes mess up. This is a prime example of measure twice, cut once. I don't know what I was thinking, but I need these boards to be 88.5, and for some reason I cut one of them at 85.5 instead of 88.5. And with lumber prices as high as they are right now, and the fact that this is just the frame and you're not going to be able to see it once the barn door's done, I added a 3-inch block with pocket holes, with 1 pocket hole and wood glue at the bottom to save me from having to buy a new 1x4. So there you go. So now I'm just building the frame, and this does not have to be exact measurements, but you're going to have 1 1x4 at each end of these 1x6 headers, and then 1 centered up. And I'm attaching these with 1 1/4 inch pocket hole screws and wood glue. Okay, I've got the frame done. Now I'm going to cut the plywood sheets to size and attach them to the top. Okay, so I've got 2 4x8 sheets of 1/4 inch plywood, and they are too big to put on my table saw to make that cross cut. I need it to be a little over halfway. So I brought them on the ground. I'm using my circ saw, and I'm going to cross cut them right here, and then I'll take it to my table saw and make the rip cut. Now the way that I do this is I lay 2 2x underneath the plywood and I measure exactly where I need my blade to cut, which is 49 3/4. And then if you get your circ saw, line the blade up with that mark right there. And then you're gonna make a mark where the end of your circ saw base is, and that's where you're gonna put a mark to put the 1x board to use as your guide. So I made the mark for the blade and I made the mark for my guide, and I've put a scrap 1x board across on both ends. I also marked where I need that at the end of that board. I've clamped them with my face clamps that I love. I will add a link in the description box below. So now I just have to cut. I'm gonna line the base of my circ saw up against that guide and cut all the way down. Now before I make my cut, if I try to cut it and the blade is hanging this far below the base of the circ saw, I'm gonna cut into the concrete because I'm only using 1.5 inch thick blocks underneath. So make the adjustment on this saw. It's right there, you see that allows the base to go back and forth. And I'm gonna give just a little bit, because we're only cutting 1/4 inch, and I'm gonna lock it in place, just like that. Okay, I've got both of my boards cut in half almost, and now I'm gonna take this piece to my table saw and make that rip cut. So now I've got both of the plywood sheets cut, and I'm just trying them on for size. That's gonna be a good fit right there. So next I'm just gonna add some wood glue and some staples to attach it to the frame. So right now I'm just putting a bunch of wood glue all over the frame so I get a nice strong attachment. So I've got it where I want it, and I'm going to attach this plywood to the frame with 5/8 inch staples. You do not have to use staples for this. If you have a nailer, that's great. I just like to use staples when I'm attaching 1/4 inch plywood because it holds it better, but nails will work just fine. Okay, I've got the plywood covered. Now it's time to trim it out. So to trim it out, I'm starting with the top and bottom trim, and this is 1x board that I ripped from a 1x6. I ripped them all to 1 3/4 inches wide with my table saw, and I'm doing that so that I have a little bit of room to add the trim and it'll all be flush. So the first thing I did was cut the top and bottom to size, and now I'm going to use my tape measure and get an exact cut for the side trim. And I used a 10-foot 1x6 board for this so I could get long enough lengths on the trim without having to piece 2 pieces together. So everything's fitting good. I'm going to go ahead and start by attaching the top and bottom trim, and then I'll follow up with the sides. I'm using wood glue and 1 1/4 inch brad nails to attach everything. The back should be flush with the back of the trim, so as long as you've got a good flat ground, you can just do it like this. Okay, all the trim is on now. Now it's time for the fun part. I get to add the design. I'm trimming the front out with this 1/4 inch vendor board for the most part, and I love using vendor board. It comes in 8-foot length, and I love it for wall panels. We use it on a lot of our board and batten, but it's really smooth, it's easy to paint, and it's inexpensive. So I've already cut the top and bottom pieces, and now I just need to measure for the side long pieces. And I already have the dimensions on my plans, but I just want to make sure, and you should always do this when you're following our plans, to measure and cut as you go. We mentioned that on the cut list because you never know what might happen, and it'll give you the best cut and you won't waste material. My plans are accurate. perfect fit. I'm using wood glue and 1-inch brad nails to attach the trim. Make sure that you use 1 inch or shorter so that you don't pop through the back, and I'll use wood filler if I can see any of my nail holes. Okay, so the outside trim is done. Now I'm going to work on the actual design, and that is my favorite part. You can kind of see what I'm doing right now. I'm just laying everything down and kind of making sure everything fits. I've done everything that I need to do with the fender boards as far as cuts go. I went back and cut 3 9-inch squares from the 1/4 inch plywood, and then I'm going to trim it out around the sides of the squares with poplar. Now the reason I'm using the poplar is because I needed 1/2-inch thick boards to border the 1/4 inch squares, and if I used fender, you're not going to see that design the same way. So I raised up, I'm doing 1/2 inch around so there will be a little bit of a lip for that border, and that's also why I brought the sides of the barn door up a little bit. So now I'm going to measure and cut for my poplar. So now what I'm doing is I'm marking the center point of the vertical fender boards, and I'm also marking center of the end of each square so that I get them lined up the right way. And I was just eyeballing it when I was dry fitting, and it's amazing how off I was. So if you start from the center in and find center, it all pretty much will line itself up, and then we'll work on the side pieces. So those boards are all lined up. I'm going to go ahead and attach those so that they don't get messed up when I'm lining everything else up. And I'm attaching these the same way with 1-inch brad nails and wood glue. I'm just going to work my way all the way down. Okay, now I'm marking for these little short pieces that run this way, and those are going to be centered on the width of the side of the squares. So final step, I just need to go back and attach these guys and the square, but it's going to be easiest if I do one side, add the square, and then get that final piece in. But the best part about this part is there's no marking center because everything's been marked. So just glue and nail. I love how adding trim to a piece can give it a complete, custom, and unique look. Have fun with it and make it your own. Okay, barn door is completely assembled. Now I've got to go over my holes with some wood filler, sand it down, add a finish, and hang it on the door, but I'll be back to show you how I hang it on the door. I'm in love with my new barn door. It's completely transformed the look of my kitchen, and it's given me a more functional space in my laundry room. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video. Happy building!